Akashi White Oak. The White Oak Distillery is actually the name of the distillery, but because there was another brand in America, even though it wasn't whiskey, already called White Oak, they couldn't call it White Oak. So they called it the Akashi White Oak. So Akashi became the brand name. A delicious Japanese whiskey, even if it is a little bit underknown still sometimes. Same parent company as Koedo beer, which I'm a big fan of their black lager. This is a blended Japanese whiskey, distilled at the Eglishaman distillery. Now we could have gone into Japanese whiskey history a little bit more, but it is in the book. But just a quick rundown is Masataka Takatsuru, or Takatsuru-san, and Shinjiro Tori, or Tori-san, are basically the founders of Japanese whiskey. I believe it was Shinjiro Tori, Tori-san, who went to Scotland to study whiskey making, but no one would let him in, no one would talk to him, and no one would teach him anything. So eventually, after persistence, because, that's what matters, he got in. And he and Masataka Takatsuru started Japanese whiskey, basically. Now, again, the laws of Japanese whiskey are a little murky. You can import Scotch and call it Japanese whiskey. You can distill from rice, as long as it's above 35% ABV. You can sell it in America as Japanese whiskey. But that is Japanese rice whiskey, and that is something totally different and a topic for another time. So we're going to do a tasting of the Akashi White Oak. Damn screw caps. For a Japanese whiskey, this smells a lot like a Scotch, but they don't import Scotch. Everything they make is made in Japan, aged in Japan, bottled and blended and proofed down in Japan. Nothing's coming from outside of the country. They're one of the true Japanese whiskey distillers and distilleries. That's not right. Can that be right? This is fascinatingly more complex than I remember it from having it last time. Stewed fruits. Thick, rich caramel syrup. Very subtle hints of Fuji apple. The malted barley, it's not heavily prevalent, but it's there and it does slightly poke through. Under the palate. Interesting, because it's hot and spicy from the ethanol burning off, but really only on the tip of my tongue. The rest of it is, creamy and delicately. The rest of it is creamy and rich and sweet. Notes of honey and like a rich simple syrup really shine through on the palate. This is fascinating. There's also, you know, that same kind of stewed fruit, that sweet, but kind of like cooked sweetness that I was getting on the nose. That's it for the Akashi White Oak, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.